by telling us your name and what you do.
Okay, my name is Adegola Tobi. I represent Red Impacto Nigeria. I deal with recyclable wastes. Recyclable waste cut across plastics, all types of plastics, all types of can, and pure water sachet. So presently we're working on recycling e-waste in Nigeria. So presently in the research of that. Okay.
Very nice and short. So what does, or maybe you already said, what does your company focus on?
Okay, my company focus on plastics. Presently, we focus on all types of plastics. As you can see, we focus on aluminum cans. We focus on pure water sachet. We are partially working with a company for recycling of cardboards. That's brown cartons. So that's what we basically focus on right now.
And what's the name of the company?
My company,
Yeah.
yeah, Verde Impacto. It's a Spanish word for green impact.
Oh, it's the one on
Yes,
the.
on the
Oh,
door.
I like the name.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, can you tell us a bit more about what made you get into the business?
Okay, what made me get into this business was my final year in the university. Behind my room, we have this dump site there where they basically burn these materials. In my school, we generate majorly plastics, and I found out that when burning this waste, the odor, the smell that comes out is very, very choking. That it disturbs us in the room. So I did a little research back then, and I found out that these materials can actually be reused. So my guess is, if these materials could be reused, why are they being burned? Why are materials, why are these resources being just destroyed? So I did the research and I got in contact with some people and I found out that okay, there's companies right here in Nigeria that actually request for this, and the materials are not readily available because companies want to collect, don't want to go into plastics, majorly because of the revenue. I don't know. So and I also had passion right from start of working with things and getting something spoiled, I repair it. So recycling and all, they work together. So I started back then, before when I graduated, before my NYC. I started collecting plastics at home. I was collecting some small quantities, volumes, and I was supplying it right to the companies directly. So I was giving them a solution of these plastics, and I found out that okay, I could do this in a big way, and I expanded from just normal PET bottles to all types of plastics.
Very nice. So just shortly, where did you go to university and what did
Okay,
you
yeah, I
study?
schooled in Covenant University, prestigious Covenant University, Otta.
Okay. um, and can you tell us a little bit more details about what you do when it comes to electronics?
Okay, so for electronics right now, I'm working with Closing the Loop, a partner of mine, Closing the Loop in Netherlands, on phone recycling. So the company Closing the Loop, they are mainly interested in phones, and we also have this waste of phones in Nigeria. So extensive research was done on who are the major collectors of these materials, that's the phones, and we found out that we have the repairers, we have the scavengers. So we are presently trying to see how we could work with the scavengers. Presently, how we're going to work with the repairers, the phone repairers. So we plan on collecting. We've collected some as sample testing the market. So we collected some from the scavengers, we collected some from the repairers, and we noticed that okay, these scavengers give us lots of volume based on they have a wider reach. They go to different markets to collect, and we found out that okay, the repairers are also the generators of this waste because I, as a consumer, I go to repair my phone from there, and when I found out that okay, it's too expensive to repair, I either forget it or I just leave it. So we want to work with the phone repairers, we want to work with the scavengers, we also want to work with the consumers, because if we can target the consumers, it doesn't get to the scavengers' hands.
Great. Very nice. So just to go back a little, what do you think is the scope of the problem of e-waste in Nigeria today?
Okay, the scope majorly is broad, wide. One, we find out that much volume of this e-waste. You know, when you call something e-waste or let me say end of life materials get into this country, and you find out that in a container 70% are e-waste, and 30% are just electronics that could be reused. And the scope is so wide that we have, even in households also have these materials. I have old fridges that I want to dispose, but I can't dispose it basically because I don't know of anyone that is ready to collect it. And if I want to dispose it to the scavengers, I pay huge sum of amounts to them. So you just dump it in the house. Likewise with your fridges, your irons, your TVs and all. So the scope is quite wide.
So, what does the life cycle of electronics in Vegas look like from when they come into the country and until they maybe
Yeah.
end up with you or at a dump site?
Dump site. Okay, so the life cycle. Let me use a new phone for example. In Nigeria, we like getting used things. We don't like buying new things. So you find out that there's a little percentage of people that like buying new things. So if we say the life cycle of new things is when I'm tired of using the phone or the electronics, I could either sell it right now or I could trade it in. We have some companies that collect the trading, not so much. And if we are saying for used phones or used electronics, people buy it. Yes, people buy it. But the percentage of used electronics that get into the country that are good is very, very little. So we find out that the life cycle goes until end of life. We call the materials end of life. So yeah.
So could you tell me a little bit about what scavengers are?
Okay. So the people we call scavengers are basically the people that go around houses with little carts. They pick materials from the floor, aluminiums, plastic, anything that is reusable, anything they could resell. So these are the scavengers. These are the people that, if you have a TV, an old TV, you could give it to them or you could sell it to them. They also come to some places, some yards, to meet the people that they know that generate this waste. They buy and they will sell to people like us or other people.
And if you have anything to add, you just tell me. And could you explain a little bit what are collectors?
Okay, so the collectors are basically, will I say, middlemen between the scavengers and people and us. So these collectors they are not scavengers. They are probably business owners, but they are the middlemen. They are the ones that know the factories or the companies that actually buy this waste. So they deal with the scavengers, they buy from the scavengers and resell it to us.
And what kind of waste is that?
Okay, so the collectors, some collect different materials. If we're talking of electronics, we have people that collect laptop boards, desktop boards, RAMs, hard disk. Some deal with this AC. Some deal with UPS batteries, inverter batteries also. So that's what they collect.
And when you say that they sell it to people, who do they sell it to?
Okay, so with the research we found out that there are some companies that buy these materials. So take for example a UPS battery. Some of the cells could be reused to make smaller materials, so like the torchlight, rechargeable torchlight, rechargeable radios. So we have some companies that in Nigeria that buy this waste, and some are being exported also to China. So depending on who the company is ready to deal with.